Hello, and thank you to all the horror freaks and movie geeks for joining me today. And without further ado, let's meet our meat. So, the second trailer for the Halloween reboot sequel that is coming out in less than a month now, a little over a month now, has just dropped today, and I'm very excited to view it with you guys. I'm just going to geek out for a little bit before we start. Halloween is by far my favorite movie. Well, depending on which day you ask me, it's either my favorite or my second favorite. Alien is the only movie that would ever rank above Halloween. But Halloween, when I watched it from the very beginning to end as a child, it just captured me so much. It was such a work of art. It told such a simple story, but it had such a foreboding atmosphere and such likable characters and just everything that you needed to make a horror movie great. And I revisit it every year, every couple of months. It still holds up. It's absolutely amazing. John Carpenter is like by far my biggest influence and my filmmaking idol pretty much when it comes to my own filmmaking. You cannot beat John Carpenter horror in my opinion. He's the man. He's the best. And I look forward to seeing him finally returning to the series that he helped create and seeing what his new score is going to sound like. I love me some John Carpenter music. There was a lot riding on this Halloween movie though. The reputation of the Halloween series, I feel like, is at stake here. It has been, in my opinion, it's been almost 30 years since a worthy Halloween sequel came out. I think Halloween 4 was the very last Halloween movie in the series chronologically that I feel like has any merit and is any good. I know a lot of people like to claim that H2O is the second best in the series, and speaking of which, you know, that was the first time that Jamie Lee Curtis returned to the franchise. And Halloween Resurrection, of course. We don't talk about that one, though. Guy, Buster Rhymes. Trick or treat, motherfucker. No, this was just bad. No, we're not going to talk about that anymore. We're going to forget that never happened. And thank God this Halloween erases all that from canon. I actually am very happy that this sequel is going to be ignoring every single Halloween movie that came after it. Not just because it's going to retcon Laurie and Michael being brother and sister, but it just presents a new level of continuity, and it sounds like the right thing to do. The Halloween series has hit the reset button way too many times, and it would be near impossible to try to pick a direction that this film could go in that would acknowledge any of the other sequels. I think they hit the reset button on Halloween H2O, they hit the reset button on Halloween 3, they hit the reset button on the remakes. This is the best direction to go in, I am sure of it, and I know some fans may not like that Laurie and Michael aren't going to be brother and sister again, but trust me, the original Halloween works so well because Michael is an enigma, and Laurie Strode is just this helpless girl that gets trapped in this situation and has to try to find a way out of it. It doesn't make much sense to me, the direction that they went with them being brother and sister, but I mean, that's just my opinion, and my opinion doesn't matter anywhere, so like I said, though, the reputation of the Halloween franchise is on the line here. There have been too many poor sequels, and if this movie comes out and bombs and is a mess and is a disaster, then that pretty much solidifies Halloween as one good movie and the rest is just garbage. Nobody really cares about the good sequels, especially when they pale so much to the original. But this is looking promising, in my opinion. John Carpenter is back. Like I already said, he's also doing the score. He's executive producing. He approved this concept and project, and I think he knows what he's talking about. John Carpenter has taken many paycheck movies and done many producing gigs just for the series, but I don't think this is one. I don't think that this is John Carpenter wanting a paycheck. I don't think he's phoning it in. I think he really does believe in this movie and this project and wants to restore Halloween's reputation. And mark my words, I guarantee you when this score comes out, it will be just critically praised, probably one of the best parts of the movie. And Danny McBride and David Gordon Green are also really talented filmmakers. I don't really care for much of their other work, but Danny McBride really surprised me last year in Alien Covenant. I thought he did a really good job acting in a horror movie. He brought a levity to the proceedings without coming across as comic relief. David Gordon Green is a talented filmmaker. He's made really good quality movies, some not so good ones, but I have faith. These are talented people. They know what they're doing. They're not just right off the street. They're not some guys that were just handed the series like so many other filmmakers in the past. And so I have faith that they're going to do justice to the series and to the original. And the storyline also looks promising too. You know, we're living in an age where murder mystery documentaries like Making a Murderer are really popular on Netflix. And I think it makes perfect sense that in the universe of the Halloween movies that a film crew would want to go into this story and make a documentary film, whatever, really try to explain what happened on this Halloween night when these 3 innocent teenagers were murdered. And I'm so excited to see how that's handled. I really hope that it's not just a one and done, they're gonna die in the beginning of the movie, though I kind of have a feeling that's might what happened. But as long as the documentary and those characters play an important part in the first half of the movie, then it will all be worth it in my opinion. One complaint / caveat that I might have is that the first trailer looked kind of gory, and I really hope that that's not what their direction that they're going in. The original Halloween, one of the reasons it was so effective is that it was very minimal on the gore, and it focused much more on building an atmosphere and foreboding and suspense, which are all singularly important to a good horror film, besides good characters, I think. Those 3, I think atmosphere, suspense, and good characters. If you got those unchecked, then you're doing a pretty good job on your movie. And if this works out, and the Halloween is a hit, and a critical hit, we may be looking at a new renaissance for slasher movies. Blumhouse and Jason Blum have already gone on the record in saying that they want to do more of these horror property remake sequels. And Friday the 13th is one that Jason Blum really has his eyes on. And I would love to see what Blumhouse would do with a Friday the 13th movie. I think they could really bring that series back. It has been in the gutter for so long, gosh. I don't think there's been a good Friday the 13th movie since like part 4 or 5. Part 4 or maybe even part 2. I'll do a retrospective on Friday the 13th, so that's irrelevant to this conversation. But just imagine, can you imagine that if Blumhouse got a hold of Jason and Michael, and they may get a hold of other properties, we could be looking at our very first slasher verse. Oh, wouldn't that be exciting? Oh gosh, I've been wanting that forever. Superheroes have their own universe. The Conjuring has their own universe. Why can't our slasher villains either? Oh gosh, I'm getting excited just thinking about it. But without further ado, let's finally get on to the reason that we are watching this video. I'm so sorry I've been talking for so long. I just love Halloween. I'm so excited for this movie. But let's get right into the action. Okay. I've heard a lot about this sequence right here. That it was premiered. It was quite good. I like how they got rid of the stinger effect from the first trailer. It's much scary when he just bumps into them without any sound. It's very reminiscent of Halloween 2 right here. Ooh. I'm loving it so far.
40 years ago, on Halloween night, Michael Myers murdered 3 people.
What happened to the truck driver? They keep forgetting about him.
He was sent back to the institution in captivity.
I'm pretty sure that institution looked nothing like Smith's Grove in the first trailer. We never did see it though, so. Or much of it at least. Ooh. Crunch. Ooh, this looks so good.
Prayed every night that he would escape.
What the hell did you do that for?
Get her. Get her, Michael. Ooh, that was so scary.
So I can
I
kill
love
him.
that image.
The bus crashed.
Michael Myers.
We're using the original
He
score?
returned to Haddonfield.
Ooh, that was nice.
I need to protect my family.
You have no security system, Karen.
Mom, you need help.
Evil is real.
That looks great. I love that conflict between their daughter. Ooh, that was a good shot.
There's a reason we're supposed to be afraid of this night.
I've been preparing for this for a long time.
Yes, you go,
On
Lori.
the street tonight.
Go home! Get out of here! Get
Ooh, the mask! Oh, the Halloween 3 mask. I know we saw those, but that was a close-up and that was amazing. Ah!
He's here.
He's gonna get it. Oh, yep, I knew it.
He is a killer, but he will be killed tonight.
Ooh.
Happy Halloween, Michael.
Ah, yes. That was great. Oh my gosh. That was fantastic. Like, I'm not even joking. That was amazing. Oh my gosh, there's so much to talk about. Oh my gosh. Okay, we saw more. One thing I'm excited that we saw more of was the documentary people. They were at Judith Myers' grave. Oh, that's so exciting. And it looked just like it did in the original Halloween. I told you, Danny McBride and David Gordon Green are doing their research. And I saw so many more homages to the other parts of the series. In this one, I saw homages to Halloween 2, Halloween 4, Halloween 3. Gosh, I'm sorry, I'm speechless. I don't have much to say. It was so good. Oh, gosh, Laurie looked badass. We got to see a little bit more of her family. We got a little bit more dialogue, a little bit more story. That's the stuff that I live for. Good character development and a good story to get behind. And it looks like this Halloween movie is going to be the first time that we've had that since Halloween 4, maybe even since the original Halloween, honestly. Oh gosh, and like this solidifies that it was the perfect choice to make this a sequel to the original and to completely ignore all the other sequels. Can you imagine how much of a mess that would have been to try to navigate the continuity of this series? There's like 4 different plot lines that you could follow off from. That's such lazy storytelling, and it kind of pisses me off, honestly, that a prestige horror series like Halloween, or at least it used to be before it did all this crap, would just hit the reset button every couple of films when they just wrote themselves into a corner. Like Halloween 6, we're never going to get a resolution to that plot line and that continuity. Halloween Resurrection, there are a lot of unanswered questions in that piece of garbage, and we're never going to get any of them answered. I feel like that this movie is going to be what brings Halloween back from the depths of just bad sequelitis and just a bad taste in your mouth. And a lot of people don't respect the first movie because of those horrible sequels. And I love the Halloween series. I really do. The first 4 Halloween movies are probably one of the best strings in a horror series. Like 1 through 4. And you could say all you want about 3. I love that movie. I can totally get behind the anthology idea. And I wish they had followed up on that instead of going in the direction that they did. But I understand why they did it. But that's a conversation for another video entirely. So what are other things that I liked? I loved how we didn't get all those stingers and sound effects lifted from the first movie. Mike was just creeping along. We got to see a whole lot of that infamous long take scene that we've heard so much about, where Michael's just going from house to house and just butchering people. Some people say they have a problem with that Michael was never that sort of like kill, kill, kill. I disagree. The brutality of the killings from the first movie are quite intense, for the time. Like Annie gets choked and then her throat gets slit. Bob gets choked and then he gets stabbed and nailed to the door with a butcher knife. Linda gets choked to death. Michael does a lot of choking. I just now realized that. And even in the first murder, Judith, he just stabs her over and over and over again. And that's when he was 6 years old? And you can't tell me that a complete sociopath, the embodiment of pure evil, as John Carpenter originally intended him to be, after spending 40 years locked up in a mental asylum, he probably has a lot of rage built up. I mean, look at what he did when he was locked up for 15 years. He killed 3-4 people. There I go again, almost forgetting about that truck driver. Man, poor guy. I don't even think he got a name. He just gets forgotten about. Maybe they never lumped that murder in with the other murders. I highly doubt it, though, because Dr. Loomis was there. I feel like he would have been like, oh yeah, I saw this truck, and I saw these hospital gowns. Michael must have been responsible. And then you can't tell me that they didn't send a investigation over there to see what the issue was. But yeah, I'm super excited about this, guys. It looks so good. I honestly want to watch the trailer again as soon as this video is over. I am pumped. The music is, I wish they would include more of the score, the new score. I think maybe they're saving it. Maybe John Carpenter's not done with it yet. Good then. If you're not done with it, keep going. I love the little excerpt that we heard from the trailer or commercial for the vinyl that we got a couple of months back, or a couple of weeks ago. That was pretty good. So yes, let me know what your comments and thoughts are down below. Are you super pumped for this movie like I am? Are you can't get behind it because they're not brother and sister anymore? Do you think Halloween has run its course and that they should just let it die? I want to know what you have to say, because I'm super excited about this, and I know that a lot of you are too. And if this trailer doesn't convert you, then I don't know what else to tell you, man. Michael Myers is the king. He is one of the first slasher icons, and like I said before, Halloween was such an enormous influence on me as a kid. And growing up and getting into filmmaking, I've striven to replicate the atmosphere that John Carpenter so successfully made in the original Halloween, and his other movies too, like The Fog, Escape from New York, Christine, In the Mouth of Madness. That one in particular is a really good movie, and I might be doing a Take-Two retrospective on that one very soon. So yeah, like I said, let me know down below what you think. Let's start the conversation now. Let's get this pumped. Come on, guys. We've got to go support this, and it's got to make money. I have no doubt that if this movie is good, it could be like a mini It. Like, it could reach very close to the level of success that It has, and that would be phenomenal. Horror is on a hot streak right now, so let's keep that streak going. All right, guys. You guys take care of yourselves, and I will see you again real soon.